What is up, YouTube? We are back with part 4 of our 10 Principles of Economics mini-series here in our Bank of Exile series. And today we're going to talk about how people respond to incentives and why that is a good thing and how you can take advantage of that and whether or not that means anything for you as you play Path of Exile, or rather as you play Bank of Exile. So first off, the section principle is that because rational people make decisions by comparing costs and benefits, they respond to incentives. So if you watched part 3 and you learned about how people analyze and make an analysis based on the cost and the opportunity cost of acquiring something and the benefits of acquiring that thing, we now can talk about incentives, what it is that people want as they are interacting. What is it that can motivate someone to interact with a buyer or a seller? So here's a definition for an incentive. An incentive is something that induces a person to act by offering rewards to people who change their behavior. So an example of this, a really simple one, is let's say sales. So in your town, wherever it is that you live, there are probably sales, whether those sales are grocery sales on a weekly basis, whether they're car sales, whether they're furniture sales. Even in Path of Exile, GGG often offers stash tab sales or microtransaction sales. It is an incentive that is trying to get you to change your behavior. So for instance, in the case of Grinding Gear Games offering stash tab sales, let's say for people who haven't bought certain types of stash tabs, they are trying to get those people to change their behavior. They want the behavior to be changed from someone who doesn't buy stash tabs to someone who does. So they're incentivizing that behavior by offering a sale. A second incentive is milestones. So let's say you have a goal for this league. Oftentimes people will have a goal being a particular chase unique or a particular item for their build or taking down a particular boss. But whatever that milestone is, so let's say your milestone is a headhunter, that's your incentive. So your incentive for playing the game now is to get your headhunter. I did this for a league in order to get a headhunter. And what I noticed in my own personal gameplay was that once I actually got the headhunter, I actually stopped playing the game. Like at that point in the league, once I reached my milestone, once I fulfilled the incentive that it was for me to play, I stopped playing. I didn't have another incentive for me to keep playing. Now some of you would say, well, why wouldn't you just play with your headhunter? Headhunters are amazing. Yes, and I did play around with it for a day, but then pretty much after that I was done with the league. I got my headhunter. That's what I wanted to do. That's what I was using to incentivize myself to play. So people respond to incentives, and the section takeaway is for you as you're playing Bank of Exile to find the incentive for your customer, for the person that you're interacting with. So you want to ask yourself 2 basic questions, whether you're a buyer or a seller. So if you're a seller, then you want to ask, why would anyone on the market buy from you? Couple of factors. Maybe one, maybe you're online, so maybe you're frequently available, which means your listings are always available. Another might be, and it's very common in Path of Exile, might simply be that you have the cheapest available item that somebody's looking for. So if you've got the cheapest divination card that you're flipping, or you've got the cheapest item that someone is trying to flip, or you've got the cheapest map on the market, then you're going to come up at the top of a lot of different sales lists. And so that's an incentive because you're at the top of a list. People don't have to scroll to find you. That's an incentive. But you've got to ask yourself, why would someone want to buy from you? I've got several people on my friends list that want to buy from me every league now because we've done enough business that they're incentivized to buy from me because they know they can buy maps in bulk, they know they can buy items in bulk, they know they can flip currency. The currency is probably going to be a little bit more expensive, but they can flip a whole bunch of it very, very quickly. That's the incentive. So people are often willing to pay more in order to receive back a flipped currency because they simply know that they can trust the individual that they're playing with. They know that consistency in delivery, and they know the quantity size is going to be the quantity that they want to trade in. So that's from a seller's perspective if you're selling something and trying to incentivize buyers. If you are, however, a buyer, you've got to ask yourself, why would someone sell to you? So I'm listing one particular divination card right now. It's the House of Mirrors card. So you combine a stack of 9 of them and you get a Mirror of Calandra. And I'm selling it at a particular price point, and someone messaged me if I would be willing to sell the card for 1.5x cheaper than what I have it listed at. This is a great example. If you're a buyer, simply when you come in, if you undercut the seller who's already selling at the lowest possible rate on the market, there's simply no incentive for that seller to sell to you, because they already feel like they're going to attract enough customers, and so by coming in and undercutting, it actually acts as a disincentive for someone to trade with you. So think about those two questions. Those are two takeaways from part 4. Why would someone buy from you, and why would someone sell from you? People respond to incentives. Stay tuned for even more principles of economics right here on the G3 PoE channel.